Can I just add on to what you said about religion as well? Because having a celebrant, unlike the register office, you can't have any religion.
Yes.
You can't walk down to a song that mentions heaven, for example.
Oh, really?
Heaven is attached to God. God is religion, and therefore no.
So what happens if that happens? They just cancel?
No, we listen to your songs before to make sure there's nothing.
I think there's a new popular wedding song. Is it Heaven Sent or something like, I can't remember the name of it.
Ordinary.
Ordinary, and I think they mentioned heaven in there. You can't...
As beautiful as that song is, if you're getting married.
That's what's popular right now.
So you'd have to have a celebrant because you absolutely cannot. Because it makes the ceremony null and void. So it's not even just like you cannot and they're just being strict. It literally removes the legal element of it. So you're not legally. So it's just something that we will never, they will never say we.
So if someone just being ridiculous here, you're walking down the aisle or whatever, someone just bust out some Christian music. And
then we just stop the ceremony.
Welcome to another episode of Twirls and Tuxedo. It's your boy, Mr. Effective. This is a wedding podcast that gives you the best insight into ensuring that you have the best wedding day on your wedding day, obviously. I have a special guest with me today. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Vim Ziambe and I'm a wedding celebrant.
Fantastic. And I think with Vim today, we have a bit of a buy one, get one free because, and we'll get into that later on. This episode is a little bit different because we started a series called Get to Know Your Vendors.
Okay.
And this came about because we had a bride on the podcast and she said something that was very, very powerful that especially for a bride, the vendors you have around you are very, very important on your wedding day because they would determine how you feel. Because obviously on your wedding day, you're going to go through loads of emotions, whether your parents annoying you, your friends annoying you, or just something annoying you.
Yeah.
And the people closest to you will be the ones to determine how you feel. So we thought to ourselves that, oh my gosh, that's actually so true. And a lot of couples don't actually know who their vendors are.
Yeah. They
just see them on Instagram and just follow them or watch their work without actually know their story. So we thought that we start this series of getting to know the vendors and so they can tell their story and also inspire other vendors that might want to come and become in their position, and also people can know what they actually do as well. And your case is very, very interesting because celebrant is not something new, but I think in my world where I MC mostly for Nigerian clients, it's not as common because most of the time Nigerians are religious and they have a pastor or imam if you're Muslim, who would do this sort of joining of the couple.
Yeah.
So tell us more about what's being a celebrant is and your journey so far to today.
So being a wedding celebrant is the same as a marriage officiant.
Okay.
It's just the word celebrant is used widely in England to describe someone who officiates a wedding.
Is that only in England or is that a global name?
It depends. So I know countries like South Africa and Australia is where the word actually came from.
Oh, right.
They use the word celebrant. But if you say celebrant to someone who lives, like someone in Nigeria, for example, it's definitely not as an officiant.
Yes.
Celebrant is more for the person that celebrates.
Yes.
Whatever. But if you look it up in the dictionary, yes, number one, celebrant means an officiant. Number two is someone celebrating.
Okay. Perfect. And how did you, what's your journey into this? How did you start this? How long have you been doing this for?
Yeah, so
tell us your story.
So I started at the register office, which is a bit confusing because when I say officiant, again, some people assume registrar.
Mm-hmm.
So registrar, it is true, you can use the term officiant, but I started as a registrar at the register office. I did that for about 10 years in total.
Wow.
And then now I've become a wedding celebrant and I've been doing this for 3 years now. And as you can imagine, it's a natural progression. But the biggest reason I left was because when you have a registrar ceremony, you obviously don't have any sort of creative freedom. Your ceremony, it has to be standard. The words have to be legalized. There's certain scripts that were given. But because I'm a really creative person, I love poetry. I've always loved English literature. I love words. I love love.
Yes.
So it was very restrictive. So I just thought, you know what? I've been doing this for years. Maybe I'll find my people who want a love story, who want a poem based on their love story, who want me to sit down with them and write vows that really mean something if they're not good at expressing themselves. And in 3 years and the best decision I ever made.
Awesome. Before we go into your world into being a celebrant and things you've done, let's go back to where you started from because obviously I love a come up story.
Yeah.
So first of all, why being a registrar or why is it so restrictive? What is the reason? Is it Is it because of the legal side of things, or why is that from your experience? Because you've been there for 10 years, so
Yeah.
why couldn't you just start making your own stuff up
Yeah.
while you're there?
Just legally, I think so that if you're getting legally married, I guess the government wants to make sure that everyone who gets legally married has said these particular words.
Okay.
So because it is a legally binding contract.
Okay.
So like any other marriage contract is legally binding, and therefore there has to be so much weight that's upheld as far as the legal words that you knew you were agreeing to when you went into this contract.
Okay, perfect.
So adding your personalized vows and your story.
It's not needed. Okay, fantastic. And then what training do you need to do to become a registrar? When you started off, or is it anyone can just do it? What is the process to get it?
Yeah, so I was a housing officer first, and the job just came up on the intranet. And literally when you were reading it, it said full training given as long as you can speak publicly, as long as you can speak well. And at the time, everything was handwritten. Mm-hmm. All the registrars, all the entries would have to be handwritten. So you had to have what they would consider perfect handwriting. And those are the only requirements.
Okay.
Some people assume this. I mean, I'm from a law background anyway, but some people assume, you have to be a lawyer or solicitor to be able to be a registrar, and that wasn't the case at all. They teach you everything on the job. And when I worked for the registrar office, they took it so seriously that I wasn't allowed to conduct any ceremonies until after I had hit 2 years.
Oh, wow.
That's how much you are training in the background.
So what were you doing for those 2 years?
Yeah, you're registering births and deaths.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The registrar office
does a number of things. And then at what point during your journey in the 10 you realized that I could do a bit more? You saw that like that sparkling or that light and saying, I want to do a bit more. At what point during that process?
Yeah, the beauty of when I worked as a registrar is you always work as pairs. So again, it's a legal thing.
Okay, yes.
There's one person officiating while the other person is witnessing the ceremony. But obviously you're both registrars. And everyone I ever always worked with would always say, your voice and the way you conduct yourself. And I promise you, if you were doing this for yourself, you would get many more clients and you'd be able to effectively charge what you want. So that's feedback, plus knowing that inside I've got this creative, overflow that's in me. That's I have to keep hidden almost. I just thought if I'm this way and I can add the creative part, then maybe. But I didn't know celebrants existed. So someone would be saying maybe you could, but I'm also just thinking, but I've never heard of a celebrant. And where would I start? How do I market? How do people know what your wedding will be like if you've never seen the person at a wedding? So just year after year, I just kept.
And I'm actually interested. I don't know if you know the timeline, but you've been there for 10 years. At what point was it that this people started saying this thing to you about you've got a great voice, you can do more?
Yeah.
And at what point were you like, I'm going to chase it? Because I'm always interested in people's, like I said, come up story.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have that inner voice telling us you can do it, you cannot do it, you cannot do it. And how long was that battle for? If you remember.
I do, definitely around COVID when everything stopped. I think I'm sure I'm not the only person in this boat where you really start to think about your life. Like, am I happy with what I'm doing? And at the end of the day, we're not working. And maybe it's time to just give myself a chance. Give myself a chance to try something. Then the beauty again of the people that I worked with was it's a conflict of interest for you to be a registrar and a celebrant.
Oh, right.
You can't do both. But what my manager at the time said was, we can put your job on hold for 6 months. You go try, be a celebrant.
Wow.
If it doesn't work, then obviously you're more than welcome back. Because the training is so intense. As far as they're concerned, they wouldn't want to start training someone else. So they got someone else temporarily. I went off, started a website, started trying to go to networking events, started an Instagram page, started a Facebook page, because I didn't even have Facebook. It was 3 years ago. And the rest is history.
Wow. That's an amazing thing. No, kudos to that manager for giving you the opportunity.
Because it helped.
It really does. And obviously when you know that you have like a little safety net, knowing that I'll try it out for 6 months and then I'll come back to it. But before we go into like your proper journey as a celebrant, just for those who are watching, because I remember when my wife and I were getting married, we didn't know about the court wedding process. We had to watch a lot of TikTok videos and do a lot of like searching, and then we saw different prices and really understand what it is. So if you can just give us a few steps to, if you're getting married, what it is to be legally married and what the steps you need to take.
I think the most important thing to remember is the register office. We are trained to talk you through it. So you shouldn't have to be watching TikToks. All you do is if you're wanting to get married legally, you Google my local register office. Whatever number comes up, you phone them and say, I want to get legally married. Can you explain the options? That is what our training is.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, so that's all you do. You can even come into the office and sit with someone and they'll say, there's a statutory ceremony, there's only 2 of you and 2 witnesses, this is how much it costs. There's this type of ceremony in this room, you can have up to 80 guests and this is how much it costs. So someone talks you through all of, you shouldn't have to be TikToking.
Because I know there was something about giving notice or...
Yes, there's also so what they'll also explain is everyone who gets married in England and Wales has to give notice to marry. And it's a bit archaic, but basically where it comes from is the fact that to prevent people getting married
to their siblings.
If they're already married.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought to their siblings. Sorry, my bad. Too much Game of Thrones.
No, yeah, I mean, to be fair, we do ask. One of the questions was
yes.
are you related to the
I remember they asked that question.
Yeah, I think it's second cousin you're allowed. First cousin you're not, but in England, second cousin.
Oh, wow.
So if you say, yes, this is my second cousin, absolutely.
It's all good.
You can get legally married. No, giving notice basically means you are paying the register office to put your names up on a notice board at the register office. And those names will be up for 29 days. And the way the thinking or the law behind
someone
it
was
that.
See it.
Exactly.
Say, oh.
But how many times? That means someone would have to go every day to the register office for the 29 days. And how would they know you've given notice?
Yeah.
I know it sounds silly, but also back then it was a law that, it made sense.
And just a funny one, in your 10 years of being there, has there been anyone coming back and saying, hey...
Everyone asks me, I wish I could lie, just make it more...
I know this guy. He's got a family. Okay.
He's my husband.
My husband.
Yeah, you think because it's anyone, right? It could be someone who thinks, my husband went off months ago, whatever.
We've been looking for him. All right, That never happened.
No.
Okay. So just summarize. So you give notice first.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you make the phone call first to your local?
So
find your local register
office.
Give them a call.
And then they will mention that you're going to have to give notice. And then there's different types of ceremonies.
Yes.
Do you want me to go through them on the phone with you now?
Okay.
Or do you want to come in and we can talk about them?
Okay.
When you go in, to give notice is £42 each. So that's the standard fee. There's no more. It's what everyone pays.
Okay.
And then there's the different ceremonies. All the other ceremonies differ in price depending on the borough or the town or the city that you live in.
Okay.
The only thing that's standard and uniform is what's called the statutory ceremony.
Okay.
And that one is basically by law, everyone should have a right to get married. Even if they don't want a big ceremony, they should have the right. Mm-hmm. So the way the law works is you pay £56 and then it's £12 for a marriage certificate, £50. So 60...
whatever that is.
Yeah, 68.50.
Yeah.
That's the statutory ceremony, but you're only allowed 2 guests, and those 2 guests have to be witnesses. You can't have 0 guests either. By law,
you have 2 witnesses.
Have to witness. Okay. So that's the one that's standard anywhere you live in England or Wales.
And then everything extra is based on the room size and everything else.
And the register office, because it's a bit of a profit making.
All right, so the register office then add their own little...
Exactly. That all you're using our very lovely room.
Okay.
And therefore, this one is going to cost £900.
Oh, I see.
They're not charging you for the room. They'll say they're charging you for the registrar, but it's really because they're charging you
for the room. Okay. No, that's good to know. I think that's good information because we were looking at all sorts of things and then we kind of...
You shouldn't have to figure it out.
Yeah, and then obviously, and then we didn't know there was a time frame of things have to happen in a certain time frame because I think if you don't do your notice and you book your registrar is not valid or something like that. You have to do...
Well, you can't book the registrar without giving notice.
Yeah, or something
because to give notice, you'd say where you're getting married.
Yes.
So the dates have to be on there.
But the issue was that you pay for the registrar and then they then ask you where have you given notice. That's because we gave notice in our borough, but we got married. We did a registrar in a different borough.
Yeah. Oh yes. That's complex.
But let's not get into that. That's a different topic for a different day. But no, at least you're giving us a little insight into what it is, and I hope some of the viewers who are planning to do legal marriages can know what to do now. Let's talk about your journey into being a celebrant. Now, you said that your manager gave you 6 months into trying it out, and you set up your Instagram, your Facebook.
Yeah.
What was it like getting your first client?
Honestly, it was like, when God is like talking to you, if I can speak over.
Yes, please.
That's exactly how I felt. I felt like as soon as the website was up, and the website was I found a website for £56.
Nice.
And it was because I'm not techie at all, never been. Part of being a registrar was I was just doing weddings for the last few years. So I would never be in the office. So as far as doing anything computer-wise, wasn't my forte. So I found someone to do it. It was £56, I remember exactly. So it was a really, really crap website. And then I got an email from someone saying, and because I wrote it in plural form, instead of like saying, hi, I'm Vim, I was like, we will marry you. We are celebrants. And so the person inquired and just said, do you have a celebrant available for this date? Can you please send me the prices? And I just thought, well, this can't be real. I've literally just set up the website.
How many weeks, months?
It was a year in advance. It was literally exactly a year it was going to be. So they were saying, do you have a celebrant?
No. When did they reach out? Was it?
Literally, I think I was live today, tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So how, I thought, when you think Google, there's SEOs, algorithms, how they found me, I have no idea. And it was the biggest blessing. It was almost God was just saying, I'm telling you this.
Yeah, this is for you.
This is what you were always meant to do. And they were the best couple ever.
Fantastic. And did you go back after 6 months out of curiosity?
No.
So you left and never turned back. Okay.
I will not, because this is.
And then what does a celebrant actually do? And how are they different from a registrar or a pastor, for example?
Yeah.
What is your unique selling point? What is the value you bring to wedding ceremonies?
So a celebrant is exactly, if you've seen what a registrar does, it's that and more. So the officiating. So as far as who gives who's being, how do I say this?
Who gives this bride away or something like that?
Yes, all of that. And as well as, okay, now it's time for you to say the vows. And then it's also affirmations. But what I add is I help you write the vows, like I said, but also I get to know all my couples and I guarantee them a poem based on their love story.
Oh, wow.
So when they've told me their love story and their journey, how they met, what they love about each other, they do this separately. So they do it privately. And then from that information from both of them.
How do they do it privately? How do you make it happen?
It's a questionnaire.
Oh, right. So questionnaire, okay.
So the Zoom calls and the meetup, it's always be both of them. And that's how I'm making mental notes of how they engage with each other. I'm making mental notes of their personalities and their quirks. And then with the questionnaires that they fill in separately with the actual information, the actual journey, how long they've been together, what they love about each other, how they felt when they realized they'd fallen in love. Oh, wow. That information I then add to everything else, and then I create this poem.
Oh, wow. And just to digress a little bit, when did you know, when you loved the poem, when did that start?
Oh, no, always.
You've always loved poetry?
Always, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've always loved reading. I've always loved poetry. I do spoken word.
Oh, wow.
Well, when I used to have the time, but I say,
yeah. No, that's fantastic, because I really love your story, because a lot of people have a passion or creative edge, and they're in a 9 to 5, and they don't realize that is a platform you can use to leverage what you love, because you used being a registrar, then mixed up with poetry, and now you have a unique selling point as a celebrant, and that's very unique. And people always forget that, and wherever you are in life, you can actually use it as an advantage, because now you mix the two things together and now you have a unique selling point. No, kudos to yourself. And how long does it take for you to write a poem? Because I think, because if you're meeting couples and and everyone has a different love story.
Yeah,
it must take you some time to.
It does, to be fair. It does, which is why this is my only job. I know people assume, or people ask, because I get it. The wedding industry is overly saturated.
Yes,
there's many celebrants. There's many people in the wedding industry. So it depends on price point and it depends on location. But this is my only job, because I will pick up that piece of paper and look at the questionnaire and do a few lines each day when I'm feeling creative, and then I'll read it back and think, that's not exactly. I think they would prefer more humor, so I'll change the wording. So it takes quite a while. But the beauty of weddings is you're usually hired way in advance anyway. So I've got the time. If you hire me for your wedding next year, we've already met by Zoom. We would have had lunch or dinner, and then I'd have sent you the questionnaire. You filled it in. Now you're leaving me to do my work for the next however many months. You've hired me. I'm definitely going to create something, and so you just leave it with me. So I will say months, but no one ever knows how long it took, because they're not concerned. So closer to the
yeah. Even you're doing multiple things at the same time, and you're not writing all in one go. And did the couple did they get to see the poem before?
Yes, so they get
before the wedding day,
always,
or they hear it
always. Yeah, always. And the only reason I do it is because I value the fact that they've given me this trust, right? Because you don't know how your poem, you might have heard snippets of poems on my social media, but that's not your story. And two, it's a few lines that a videographer might have captured and, very kindly sent to me. So to hear your story and to think on the day, I know it causes anxiety. So I always just think 4 to 8 weeks before your ceremony, I will then have your poem ready. We'll jump on a Zoom or meet face to face if we're close enough to each other. And then I'll just read it out so that you hear what it sounds like and what your guests will hear. And then I can make changes if you want me to. But so far, touch wood.
Yeah, no changes.
No changes.
But
everyone loves it.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the couple could hear it on the day? Because I don't know you that well, but I believe in your work already. Because you sound very sincere. You have this energy about you that is very sincere. But wouldn't it? I'm just thinking about when I got married. If I had heard it for the first time.
Yeah.
on the day. I think that would be an extra special. But I know it's a bit risky. But I think you should take that risk at some point and just tell them.
I mean, it's possible. Like, you're absolutely right. I think I was offering them, I think, because like I said, I'm thinking you've trusted me, so I want to prove to you that your wedding day is going to be, thank you for this trust. This is my gift to you by letting you hear it before. And also the day has so many emotions. You're going through. So you think you'll have the mindset when you're standing there with your fiance and you'll be able to take it all in. The chances are your head is everywhere. And you're so nervous. Not everyone can stand in front of people. So they already know that on the day I'm going to be so nervous standing there. So please, Vim, just make sure that I'm not facing the guest. Can I face you more? So while you're going through that, and then I go into this poem, you might not ingest it the same. But once you've heard it, then on the day, it's been 8 weeks, you've probably forgotten exactly what I said. Because it's 14, 16 paragraphs. It goes on.
14, 16 paragraphs?
Yes, because it starts with your journey, how you met.
14, 16 paragraphs.
When I say poem,
Talk about adding value.
Yeah, it's an actual story. It's your actual story. But it lasts, 3-4 minutes? But for those 3-4 minutes, your guests get to laugh along with you with the bumps in the road that you had in your relationship and the moments when you really realize that, this was your person for life. So it's almost like it's a special edition, almost like entertainment, but based purely on the love. So it's really beautiful.
No, that's, I know you said, you have valid reasons for, doing it beforehand, but I think maybe try it for one couple that if they're up for it, just say, would you like me to read on so it's just a surprise?
Yeah.
I think it would sit well and it would actually, those emotions actually rush a bit more because obviously they will hear it at the same time I guess they're hearing it so they can get actual good reactions or I don't know, but you're the professional.
No, I get it.
I'll leave it to you, but I think you should get that.
Because at the moment we're having, I guess, wasted tears because on Zoom it will always be, very touching. It's usually the grooms that cry. They hear it. I think maybe because it's the brides that usually hire me. And then, so I guess maybe the groom goes ahead and goes, okay, you want a poem?
Yeah, whatever. Let's just go ahead.
And now when it's time when I'm reading it out on Zoom, somebody sniff, I'm like, are you okay? And it's usually, so maybe you're right. Maybe to leave the emotions to be new.
Yeah. Because I think, because obviously I do so many weddings. I don't really attend ceremonies, but I do sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's such an emotional day.
It is.
And it's just such a beautiful day as well. And I always say to people that, and that's why I started this podcast, your wedding is the one day in your life you're going to have almost everyone you love around you. You're not going to get that ever again.
Yep. Even
if you have your first child, your 40th, your 50th, your 60th, you're not getting it again. But your wedding day, you're going to have everyone you love around. So it's best to make it special. And I think what you do is absolutely amazing because it takes it to the next level. Because I hate ceremonies. I really do. I hate them because they're boring.
I've heard so many people that say that.
Oh, I hate. So
after mine is always, what was that? What was that? Everyone should use a celebrant.
Yeah, I really hate it because I can't sit still. And I get bored very, 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 very quickly. So I avoid going to ceremonies. When I got married, I made sure the ceremony was very quick. We hired a priest. He read the script. I told him, don't waste time. Just do what you need to do. Let's get out of it. So what you're doing it's exciting. It's different. It's not just a manual you're reading from. You're actually building a story and it's unique to them. So no, I wish I get married again so we can hire you.
Oh.
So no, that's absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
You spoke about helping couples write in vows.
Yes.
How does that look like? And then do you have any tips just for our audience that are going to watch just vow writing from your experience? Obviously, don't give too much away because obviously let them pay for your service because you're amazing. So do you have any tips or anything? What works well? What doesn't work well? Things you've seen? Or if you're not even a writer, where do you start from?
I think the first thing is please don't use ChatGPT.
Oh, damn.
It's so obvious. It's because no matter how, I know technology is advancing or whatever, but I promise you when you're reading out vows that you ask ChatGPT to write, it will never sound like you. And it's so obvious in some ceremonies. It's very, very obvious that person does not sound like that normally and that would use all those words. So just don't. So as far as like vow prompts, that's what I usually do. I will sit with the groom, the bride, whoever, and we'll have vow prompts. So when I first met you, I felt like, or when you do this, I feel like. So if you so there'll be prompts. So if you add, to match the story, and then from then on, continue with that, with how you feel, how they make you feel, what it felt like when, and then just think of special moments. And then when you curate all that and put it together, next thing you know, you've written vows without even realizing.
And how long should the vows be?
It depends because if you're having me and we're having the love story and we're having the poem, I would always say maybe keep the vows a bit concise So I'm
What
thinking
does concise look like?
concise would probably be about 8 paragraphs.
Okay.
I think, yeah. So
Okay.
just enough to have 2 cards where you've got 4 paragraphs and then you're flipping them. That's another thing about having a celebrant, because I will know what the bride's vows are like, and then obviously partner, whether it's a groom or another bride, I'll also know. So I'll be able to say, oh no, yours are a bit short, and I don't want you to sound like you didn't put in work. So let's add or build because I know so and so.
All right, you see both of them, and
So
then
I see both of them. I just don't say because obviously that's the surprise to each other. That one we don't practice in advance. You hear your vows on the day of the wedding.
No, this is really amazing because I'm just thinking of it from a I don't want to say entertainment perspective, but it's a very entertaining.
It is.
It's very entertaining, and
It sets it up for the day. Right? Guests definitely, trust me, when I walk into a room, you can tell that the guests are like you, thinking, oh my gosh, who is this and how long is this going to be?
Yeah.
Why was I invited to the ceremony? And then by the time, it's Mr. and Mrs. or Mr. and Mr. or Mrs. and Mrs., the way, even if they're standing to congratulate you, the way everyone is just so relieved that it was an entertaining and they feel like they were part of it because you shared your story. It's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful way to set up the rest.
Because when I've attended ceremonies when I've done weddings and I hear what happens in ceremony, people talk about the vows the most.
Yeah.
The human element. I've never heard anyone say that pastor's preaching was uplifting. No offense, pastors. I've never heard that in my life. But I hear the vows were absolutely amazing. So the fact you actually make the whole ceremony personal, I think that's very, very special. And I think that's something that everyone, if they can afford you, they should actually consider doing because it's really good to know. In fact, they also help people write their vows as well, and you kind of like guide them as well. I think that's actually fantastic. So like you said that if one side has written more, you can always encourage them to write more. So I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really glad we're having this conversation because I never knew this detail. Can
I just add on to what you said about religion as well? Because having a celebrant, unlike the register office, you can't have any religion.
Yes.
It's just against the law. If you're getting married at the register office, you can't have anything that sounds even a bit religious. Connotations at all. So you can't walk down to a song that mentions heaven, for example.
Oh, really?
Heaven is attached to God. God is religion, and therefore no.
So what happens if that happens? They just cancel?
No, we listen to your songs before. So as a registrar, you would tell us which song are you walking into, which song are you going to have when you're signing the register. And then if we don't know the song, we'll listen to it to make sure there's nothing.
I think there's a new popular wedding song. Is it Heaven Sent or something like, I can't remember the name of it.
Ordinary.
Ordinary. And I think they mentioned heaven in there. You can't...
As beautiful as that song is, if you're getting married.
That's what's popular right now.
So you'd have to have a celebrant because you absolutely cannot. That register one because it makes the ceremony null and void. So it's not even just like you cannot and they're just being strict. It literally removes the legal element of it. So you're not legally. So it's just something that we will never. Well, they will never say we.
So if someone just being ridiculous here, you're walking down the aisle or whatever, someone just bust out some Christian music and
then we just stop the ceremony because what are you doing?
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that. So in the UK you can't have any religion
as long as it's the register office.
Okay.
So that's another reason people use celebrants. And yet if you are semi-religious or you are religious, you can still have a celebrant. I mean, I'd say 50-60% of my couples will still ask for Bible verses or scriptures. So as much as we have the vows and the poem and the love story, we can still include God. God is with us here as I join you together and as part of your union. So we will still have, that part. Sometimes they'll want me to open in prayer. Sometimes they'll ask a family member to open in prayer and include a parent or a relative, or even the pastor. The pastor can be a guest. Come up, pray.
Watch you do your thing.
Yes, exactly.
Pastor, we're taking notes.
Yes, take notes. Come and pray quickly, though. Then sit down. Then I'll show you how it's really done. I'm joking to all the pastors and priests.
No, it's fine. Let them know, girl.
Forgive me.
Okay, as a celebrant, what are the do's and don'ts? What helps you do your job well? I'm just thinking of couples that are watching this. They're like, oh, I want to get Vim as my celebrant. Yeah. What helps you do your job well as a celebrant?
I think fill in the questionnaire and fill it in to the best of your ability. Pretend that I'm your friend and that I'm someone who's going to really, I'm going to do your story justice. Mm-hmm. So as much as I say, not all the questions will be relevant, so feel free to leave any out. But the more you answer, the better picture I have, because I haven't walked the journey with you. But if you answer it, I've made sure, obviously it's been trial and error, but now the way my questions are set up, I know exactly how to get that information and to be able to build something really personal for you. So answer it as much as you can and be honest. And then that way, and then leave it up to me. Leave me to work my magic. I've been very lucky. I think by the time someone hires me and knows what they're wanting, right? Because they know that the poem is coming. The way they answer, if anything, they're like, maybe a bit too much.
Too much information.
It's going to take me a year, but thank you.
So I guess they would have seen your Instagram, seen some of the work you do, and they're like, oh, they really know they want you and they want your style.
Yeah.
And then they obviously, like you said, they will put in the effort to actually get the best poem ever. And what do they do with the poem after? Do you give it to them?
Yes.
Okay, go. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you hear it the 8 weeks before or whatever, I also then, because I read it out to you on Zoom or face to face, and then I send you the written version so that you can now look through when you're now by yourself. So you've heard how I'll present it. Mm-hmm. Now you've seen all the words, and then on the day I print it out for you on really special paper, and I put it in a presentation box with your vow booklets, because would have done the vows together, or even if you write your own vows, you still send them to me so that I know how long they'll be. I print them off in these vow booklets, and I give you a presentation box. It has your poem for you to keep forever written. Because not everyone has a videographer, so as much as they might enjoy the poem in real life, they never get to hear it again because they didn't have a videographer. But if you have it printed, then it's up to you it's a keepsake, a forever keepsake.
Another one for you. Do your couples use the poem on their as a voiceover on their highlight reels? Because now a big thing now is people don't watch the whole wedding videos anymore. It's now like maybe like 90 seconds reels, 6 seconds reels. So do they do that as well?
The poem would be longer than 90 seconds.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I don't think they ask for it. I think it's videographers.
Okay, they already.
So I'm getting, the ones that do, if they've never seen me work, or if I've never, and I keep getting that because I'm still fairly new, 3 years in the business. So I keep meeting new vendors, especially videographers, and what they will do is they will like it so much that they then include it in the video for the couple. So when the couple are giving me feedback or writing a review for me afterwards, they'll say, and you won't believe they used your voice for this part, and it's just so lovely, and they'll send me a snippet of it, and it's just beautiful.
It is, because I remember they used our vows for our highlight reel, and I was crying all through. I hate it so much. You couldn't hear the words.
Oh, no.
I promise to love you.
Oh, you were crying.
I was weeping all through.
Oh, you see, this I was
like, why would these guys do that?
So
I wish I had your voice on my reel.
Yeah, to be clearer.
Clearer.
But that means much more, because you've worked with me, but I've gone, right? But that wedding video will always have your voice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's just weird.
I'm sure if we asked your wife, she's very happy that they use your voice.
Okay, fair. And I digress a little bit. Why do celebrants always use notebooks and not iPads? I've always wondered why.
There are many that use iPads. I just don't think it looks great for me personally.
Because I always see them. Obviously, before I spoke to you, I just Googled it a little bit, and I see. And first of all, they're mostly women.
Yeah.
And they always have a black book in their hand, and yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm a writer. So for me, having pages, pen and paper, even when I'm writing the poem, I don't type.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everything is handwritten. And then I have to use, what's that voice to, because obviously I have to send it to you. If it was you, you'd want to see it written afterwards. So
yes.
I'm not going to send you my handwritten notes.
Oh, right.
So then I convert it into something digital.
Oh, right.
I handwrite everything.
Oh, wow.
So on the day, as much as not the handwritten notes, but I just feel like when you're flicking paper, it just adds
more authentic.
It adds to the moment rather than scrolling. Scrolling.
That's interesting, because I just noticed that they had a big black book, and then
mine is gray.
And then they move it, and then when it's time for the kiss, they quickly move away for the kiss shot. So I just thought I'd ask. And then how do you become a celebrant for those? Because obviously we have two audiences. We have couples, and we also have people that might be interested in what you do, or they have that spark as well and say, oh, I write poems, or I do this, or I'm a registrar, I want to get 6 months off to chase my dreams.
Yeah.
How do you become a celebrant?
So I did the training. There's lots of celebrant training courses online. There's lots of companies that do them face to face. When I did mine, it was during COVID. So I was lucky enough that I could do mine all online, so that by the time COVID restrictions were now lifted, I knew I'd been certified, so I could go into that space as someone who was certified.
So when you say certified, is there like a body that's certified?
Yeah, this is the thing. There isn't a body.
Oh, right.
So I was going to say it is something that I did by choice. I didn't have to. Especially coming from a registrar background, you'd assume, because there is no law that stops you from being a celebrant, anyone could be a celebrant, because anyone can give a ceremony. It's not legally binding, so there is nothing that regulates that part of weddings at the moment. But I would strongly suggest that you just just do the training. I mean, if I came from a registrar background for 10 years and I still did the training, and
was it valuable? Okay, was valuable? Okay,
got so much from it. There's so much that
how long was the training you did?
Because it's online, though. I think they said it's something like 6 to 9 months, if depending on how often you're logging in or whatever. But I did it in 2. But that's because
2 months or 2 weeks?
No,
2 days. Okay, 2 months.
Okay.
Hey, you were super keen because you know you had 6 months to prove yourself.
Yeah, so I was just like
quickly.
No, because it was COVID, so I had time. I was at home anyway. So it wasn't around any job because that's when weddings had stopped. As
of course.
So I was just at home, so might as well. So it all worked out. Like I said, I think God had His hand. Everything. Not that COVID was because I could study.
God gave it just for you.
So much I believe it. I'm just saying it was time.
Yeah.
It was time.
Yeah. That's absolutely fantastic. So do you know the course? Do you remember the course you did? In case
definitely. Because it is again, I've obviously not done any other courses.
Yeah.
But the Celebrants Collective, just Google Celebrants Collective. Natasha Johnson and Claire Bradford set up what's called the Celebrants Collective. They're both celebrants in their own right. They've got so much experience, and the training for anyone, like anyone can be a celebrant with their training because they teach you everything from even just holding space on how to stand and make sure that you are holding space in the room. From that,
it makes
all
sense.
The way
You all stand the same way. I actually, you all stand the same way.
You do have to
more towards the right. Towards the right, and then when it's time for the kiss, you all take a step and move. I watch the
Because there's nothing worse. I mean, those first few ceremonies. Imagine when someone's they're having their first and only kiss,
and
there you are.
You're there,
and that's it.
With your black book.
Exactly.
Sorry, my bad. Your grey book. I just saw so many black books when I was doing the research.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they go from that all the way up to how to be creative, how to write vows, or how to help couples write vows. It's everything. And it's the format of different types of ceremonies. It's worth its weight in gold for what you pay and for the training that you get. And also just the confidence to know that when you do get couples inquire, you can say you're certified rather than I'm giving this a go because I think I can do it.
Yeah, that's really powerful because I know in some countries you have to get a license to join people together. I think America, I'm making that up, but it's interesting. So the UK doesn't have that regulation.
Yeah, it doesn't have
that regulation. Do you think, just being political here, do you think there should be a regulation?
There's something called the Marriage Reform Act, and
okay.
Celebrants have signed a petition. This is the second year, if I'm correct, where it has been put to Parliament to change it so that all celebrants can then have the right to legally marry. Whether that means we get licensed, whatever we need to do. But if more people are using celebrants because it's a more personal ceremony, it means they can get married anywhere. Because that's another thing about registrars. You're restricted with the venue. The venue has to be licensed for the registrar to be there.
Oh, right, I see.
So that's why you can't get married. You can't just think, this is a beautiful home and I'll get married in these gardens. You can't.
You can't do that. Okay, it has to be a licensed venue. Okay.
So to allow people the freedom to choose the type of wedding they want, this reform has been put towards Parliament. So hopefully, they did that a few years ago, and now in Scotland, celebrants can marry.
Oh wow, okay.
So if Scotland is doing it,
hopefully we're not too far off.
Exactly.
And I guess your price is going to go up.
Oh, double, triple.
Oh,
I'm joking.
We'll find out.
I don't do it for the money. I do it for
I know. But the money's nice too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's always good when you do something you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I always ask all my vendor guests the future of their business because one thing I find, especially in the Black community in the wedding industry, is hard to scale. Spoke to a hairstylist before, and obviously she's a very popular hairstylist in the UK for Black brides, and people want her. Even though she has a business and she has people under her, but they want her because they want our hands on their hair. So what is it like for you? What does scaling look like? Have you thought about it?
I think unfortunately, because of this, or fortunately, because of the poetic side that I add, I'm now getting known for that. But when I did start first out, because of the Celebrants Collective, and they do this bursary for people of color, so they give a bursary to one person every year.
Oh, wow.
And they train you for free. So I would have loved to be able to train people that are Black and African and people of color so that there's more of us in this space. Because when you think celebrants, and I don't know, obviously you've been in the wedding industry a while as well, it's usually, someone who's white,
yes,
which is absolutely fine, but it's great to see, visibility is important. And also understanding of cultures.
Yeah.
I'm Zimbabwean, so I understand, I understand time when it comes to African weddings and ceremonies. I know if you say 2 p.m., I'm not taking any other ceremony on the day because, God forbid, we start at 4 and have someone else waiting somewhere else. So it's great to be able to see someone like you as part of your wedding. So my hope is that I'll be able to train more people. I've had so much experience with the registrar office. So just train and have people who work with me who do something similar to what I do.
I'm a very, very action-oriented person. So you say your plan is to train. So when are you going to start that? If you have to give us a date, and everyone's recording right now, when are you going to start that?
2027.
2027.
Because I've been doing this for 5 years, and I think at that point, I would have had enough experience to confidently.
I think you have enough experience right now.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I've done a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
Across
but
the
you
world.
haven't watched one of mine, so you don't know how.
I don't need to watch. I always know. Like, I give you an example. Like, I have a wedding in Verona next year.
Yeah.
And they wanted to bring a DJ from whatever country's close to Verona. I can't remember. Whatever city's close to Verona.
Yeah.
And I asked them, send me the DJ's Instagrams, and I would know if they're good enough or not. I can just tell.
Wait, but then if you don't think they're good enough, you'd tell them.
I'll tell them, yeah. I've done that several times.
Yeah, but what if you're wrong in that?
I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong.
You're never ever wrong.
Never, because I can tell vibes. Because I've been in the wedding industry. Obviously, my clients are mostly Nigerians.
Yeah.
I know what they look for, and I know what they need.
Yeah.
And I can always tell. Even like when I play, because I do a lot of games in my weddings. I always know which game is going to work with what crowd.
Yeah.
I always know, and I will tell them this is not going to work. A lot of times when I tell my couples this is not going to work, and they go ahead and doing it, just get them side eye later on. Just but I don't say anything.
Yeah.
So I always know. So my point, going back to my point, is that I think you're ready. I don't think 2027 is a long time.
Do you think?
You're leaving money on the table. I think you should do it.
Wait, who said I was going to charge them?
You're not going to charge?
I mean,
let's take this
God
offline. Let's take this offline. Let's not talk about this here. But I think you should do this next year. I think you're ready because I'm inspired already. Just sitting out here.
Thank you. That's
what
you're so kind.
No. I'm very inspired, and because my worst part of weddings are ceremonies. And you're making me want to attend ceremonies now. I don't attend ceremonies. Even my wedding, I wouldn't have even attended if I didn't have to. Because I hate them. They're always so boring. So you doing this makes him, if I have Vims at a wedding, I want to buy tickets to that wedding right now. That's what I'm going to do
That's
next.
what I should be doing. So, that's charging tickets. Scale. Yeah, I should be charging non-guests. You can come and enjoy the program. Imagine.
Everyone doing this in the background.
Oh yeah.
No, I like that. That's a good way to scale. Just charging non-guest tickets, and the couple get half commission.
If you hire, because some couples do, they'll hire a really big venue, right? A lovely venue because I like the venue, but they only have 60 guests when the venue can take 150. So we'll add those 60, pay £20.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And everyone's happy. You're filling out the room and you're making money on the side. So we'll talk more offline. And then my final question for you: what skill set does a celebrant need? A good celebrant? What skill set would you say people watching online, even couples that maybe they've approached you but you're booked on the day and they want to look for another celebrant, what skills should they be looking for? What kind of personality?
Find someone who loves love. I think it's so important. The ceremony is about love. As much as the wedding, the rest of the wedding, for many people, it's about the party or the food, which is great.
Yes.
It's a celebration, so of course. But the ceremony, for it to really mean something and for you to have as much value as you can, find someone who loves romance and loves love and really wants to make sure that is the center, because it is why you're getting married, right? So you're not getting married for the party or the food or for the people that are going to be there. It is just these two people, these two beautiful souls that have found each other in this big wide world. And then you get to, live forever together. How amazing.
That is beautiful. That's beautiful. And then where can people find you? What are your socials, just for everyone to know where to find you?
So when I started, I called my company, and it still is called Forever Loved. So I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but my hope, because I believe in the power of words, my hope was every couple that I marry will be loved forever. So I'm Forever Loved Celebrancy.
Okay.
And I did Celebrancy thinking one day I'll have lots of people working with me.
Nice.
Celebrancy.
Nice. Yeah. Next year. Starting next year.
So the thought was there.
Yeah.
So yes, but if you do just type Vim the Celebrant, I know I come up on Google. I've tried. But Forever Loved Celebrancy on Instagram, on Facebook. Gosh, I'm moving now on TikTok.
Nice. You have to go viral on TikTok. No, that's good to know. We'll also add that on the screen as well, so people can find you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, Vim. This has been a fantastic conversation. I feel more educated about what you do, and I respect Celebrant a lot more now.
Thank you.
Because I just thought I I won't tell you what I thought it was, but I thought it was just an easy job. But what you do is actually so amazing. And for me, because I hate ceremonies, and you've showed me that there's a way to actually uplift it. So going forward, I'm going to be recommending you to all my couples, because I think they want, because they actually come to ceremonies sometimes, but I always say I'm not coming. But if Vim's there, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Oh, vow renewal, right? You were married already, but you can renew your vows.
We only got married last.
So people do it all the time. People do 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. There's no.
Look at Vim trying to sell herself. Well, we'll see. But no, thank you so much for joining.
You're so welcome. And, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, pleasure. And our guest, thanks for joining. And if you want to get celebrant at your wedding and fight your parents not to bring their pasta, speak to Vim. She can probably convince them in a poem that they can have her and also have the pasta as well. Thank you for joining again.
Thank you.